G'day guys, it's Wolffy here and welcome back to the channel. So today I've got another tune for you, another money making method. Once again for Sardegna WTC 800, and this time in the Tomahawk. So it's the Tomahawk Group 1. It appears that Group 1 cars have really been given a boost, but more specifically the VGTs and Group C cars. So I've gone ahead to just try and make a decent tune out of this one. I've tried this in the past, but you had to basically nerf it so much that it really wasn't worth the effort. So let's get into the tune. I'm using racing hard tyres front and rear. I've got the body height adjustment set to 77 at the front and 83 at the rear. Anti-roll bar is set to 6 at the front and 7 at the rear. Dampening ratio compression is 35 at the front and 33 at the rear. The expansion is 44 at the front and 40 at the rear. Natural frequency is 4.10 at the front and the rear. Negative camber angle, I've got quite a bit on there, so we're looking at 3.0 at the front and 2.6 at the rear. Toe angle is set to 0.15 out, so that's left on the front, and 0.25 inward, so that's to the right on the rear. For the differential, I've gone with 5 for the initial torque, 10 for the acceleration sensitivity, and 50 for the braking sensitivity. Now, rear downforce is set to 1989, so just shy of full downforce, and we've got no front downforce, or it's at the lowest setting. So it's got the fully customizable ECU, and that's set to 100%, and the power restrictor to 100, so you can basically run this car on full power after the latest update. Using the normal transmission, you really don't need the racing transmission unless you want to try and mess with the gear ratios, and I've just adjusted my brake balance, but that comes down to personal preference as always. So there's nothing else that needs to go on the car. Being a VGT, there's only so much that you can actually put on it, and you've got sort of just shy of 700 brake horsepower for something that's, you know, under a ton, and it's pushing out some really good numbers. So it's really quick off the mark, and it's very stable. This thing's, I'd say, a little bit more stable than the 787B that I did the other day at Sardegna, but you'll get roughly the same time. So as far as the strategy is concerned, it's just your classic one-stop strategy that we do with a lot of these Group 1 cars. You'll basically take off in fuel map 1. You've got 2 stints, one of 7 laps and one of 8 laps. So at the start I always try and just power away, get myself into first position, and you know, usually I'll do the 7 lap stint at first so that I can stretch myself right out to the front, and then do the 8 lapper and work out whatever sort of fuel consumption adjustments I need to make. So at this stage I'm just pushing through, trying to avoid any of the AI, and just trying to get myself a decent start. And yeah, I mean, this car's basically going to rival the 787B. It's up there in times, your lap time, and also the overall race time is pretty comparable to the 787B. So it's another great option. Some of you guys might actually prefer to use this. It controls a little bit differently. It actually pulls up really well under brakes, so your braking zones can actually be quite reduced. So at the end of lap 7 I'm going to come in, and you've got the option to put on tyres. I chose not to, but yeah, that's entirely up to you. You won't notice a loss of grip too much, so all I'm going to do is just basically fill up, and then I'm going to start my second stint of 8 laps. So I started out here in fuel map 1 just for a little while, and then realised I was going to need to save a little bit of fuel, so I've dropped it down to fuel map 2, and from there on I just try to stay out of trouble. As you can see, that's not always so easy, but I just basically plugged away, not over revving the car, and just trying to gain back that extra lap of fuel for the next 6 or 7 laps. So yeah, as you can see, my fuel's coming back up pretty quickly, so there was no need to drop it any further, and I'd get my fuel down basically to 1 lap and 1 lap of fuel by the end of lap 14. So for the final lap, I drop it back into fuel map 1 and just power away. At this stage, just trying to get as good a final lap as I could. The laps were nothing to write home about, and I had a couple of offs in this race, spun a couple of times. You've got to be careful in first gear if you're not using traction control. Getting on the gas a little bit early, I spun a couple of times. But yeah, if you're coming out in second gear or using traction control, you shouldn't have that problem too much. So there you go, guys, under 24 minutes with this build. I hope you guys like it. It's another one, obviously it's good to have options. So yeah, another one to rival the 787B, and just another option for you guys there for making money. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get some good use out of it and make a mint. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date with all my latest content. And yeah, if you guys have got any suggestions, please feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas, or if anyone has any cars they want me to make builds for. Okay, until next time, guys, take care. Bye.